Yes, hello and welcome back to lesson 2. Now, before we get to the definitions today, I want to ask you a question. How is it that a country like Japan, which has very few natural resources, became an industrial giant? Meanwhile, there are countries sitting on oceans of oil and gold have struggled to industrialize. The answer is not luck, it's not magic. And we are going to look at the most important thing that differentiates these two countries, and that is management. We have to look at countries like Japan, Singapore, Taiwan that have what we call a poor resource base and compare them with countries that have a lot of oil, like Nigeria. And these countries becoming more industrialized, becoming better simply because they have better management. And the ones with poor quality management struggle to adapt. Management is the catalyst. As President Roosevelt once said, no ideology, no ism, no political theory can win a greater output with less effort without sound management. So the purpose of management isn't just to make a profit, it's to create a surplus. It's about taking the resources you have, however small, and making them productive. So today we want to look at what makes good management. Now, there are 7 distinct characteristics of management, but we are only going to focus on 3. Welcome to the video, and let's begin today's lesson. So, how do we spot good management? Now, we've said that there are 7 distinct characteristics that makes a good manager. But we want to look at just 3. Management being action oriented, management being intangible, and management being indispensable. Now, let's start with the first one. Management is action oriented. Successful managers don't just sit around thinking. They have an urge for accomplishment. They know when to start and how to keep going. Because the biggest challenge most people face is they know how to start. What many people don't know how to do is they don't know how to get going. And so a manager must be willing and able to start and keep going. Therefore, one very key aspect of management is discipline. The second one, number 2, is the says that management is intangible. In our last lesson, we had said that management is an unseen force. You cannot see it, you can't touch it, you can't distinguish it, but you see it in the results of in its results, the results that it produces. In management, in the results of management, you will see disciplined people, that is, disciplined employees. You will see high productivity and satisfied employees. When all these 3 are there, the employees are disciplined, they are satisfied, and they produce high productivity, then there is management. Number 3 says that management is indispensable. We all love technology, but there is one thing we have to remember. Computers are powerful tools. Yes, they are tools, but they cannot replace management. A computer can give you data, but it cannot pass judgment on that data. Only a manager can provide the imagination and judgment that is required to interpret that data. Today, we look at AI as a tool. AI is a tool that makes the work of management easy, not a replacement for management. Because as circumstances change, as things become more complicated, the human touch of management is needed to deal with the day-to-day unique changes that occur within the business to ensure high productivity. And therefore, management becomes very, very indispensable. Now, we need to clear up a major confusion. There are three words that most of us use interchangeably. The words are organization, administration, and management. These are three very different things, and let's try and break them down. We look at the corporation, we look at the business as, let's use an analogy, a vehicle. Imagine a high performance car. The organization, the one at the bottom of the pyramid, when we look at management, becomes the car itself. The organization is the collection, preservation, and coordination of elements. It's the bringing together of resources, the engine, the wheels, the frame, into a harmonious whole. Now, without the organization, you can't go anywhere. So, without the car, you cannot move anywhere. Administration is the driver who decides the destination. The administration is the driving force that sets the objectives and the policies. These are top level bosses, the board of directors, the syndicate, and the very top, the oligarchs that exist up there. So that is what administration is. Between them, we find the management. Now, the management is the act of driving. Management is responsible for executing the plans set by the administration. Their job is to steer, shift gears, and get the car to the definition safely. So, if you are setting the goals, you are administering. If you are assembling the teams and the resources, you are organizing. And if you are directing those people who hit the goals, you are managing. So that is it for today's video, and we have managed to look at management, and we've managed to look at the various aspects and what really makes management. So we have to understand our role within the organization. Are we the administration? Are we the manager? Or are we the actual organization? So all three, most people do all three. And that is why it is difficult for them to separate the amateur from the professional. And so, in our next lesson, we will dive deeper and further deeper into management. And we will ask, and now actually answer the question, is management a science or an art? See you in the next video. That's the end of today's lesson. You can like this video, subscribe to the channel for more on management.